This magical story begins in a time when humans lived in the forests. A man was fishing with his son by the seaside when, suddenly, strange creatures began emerging from the water. These dangerous creatures, known as deviants, survived by feeding on humans. One of these vicious creatures brutally killed the boy's father. However, just as it advanced to kill the boy, a powerful laser beam struck it, throwing it away. The attack came from none other than a superpowered hero named Ikaris, one of the Eternals. The Eternals were beings with extraordinary powers, created by a celestial entity named Sun, who was responsible for the creation of the universe and humanity. As more dangerous creatures appeared, the Eternals, each with unique powers, arrived to defend the people. Together, they eliminated the deviant creatures. Despite their heroic actions, the humans were terrified of the Eternals. To calm them, Druig, one of the Eternals with mind-controlling abilities, used his powers to redirect their fear and make them trust the Eternals. This marked the beginning of their alliance, as the Eternals vowed to protect humanity. Being immortal, the Eternals could live for hundreds of years, always functioning as a team to combat any threat that loomed over humanity. Druig, however, started using his abilities to stop wars among humans, forcing peace by controlling their minds. But Ajak, the leader of the Eternals, opposed his actions. She reminded him that their sole purpose was to protect humans from external threats, not to interfere in their internal affairs. Druig strongly disagreed with this decision, creating tension within the group. After centuries of working together, Ajak made a pivotal decision. She declared that the Eternals were free to live their lives as they wished, anywhere in the world. From that moment, the Eternals disbanded and began living separately, each leading an individual life. At this point, the story transitions to the present day. We are introduced to one of the Eternals, Circe, who is now 4,000 years old, though her appearance hasn't aged at all. Circe is on her way to teach some children, while her friend Dane, who secretly admires her, fills in for her in her absence. After a brief conversation, Dane leaves, and Circe begins her session with the children. Suddenly, an earthquake shakes the area, scaring the children. Circe quickly instructs them to take cover under their desks. When a large structure starts falling toward a child, Circe uses her powers to turn it into dust, saving the child. Circe's unique ability allows her to transform any material into dust or earth, as she possesses the power of the earth element. To avoid scaring the children, she dismisses the incident as just an earthquake, though she herself is uncertain about what caused it. On the other hand, we see another Eternal named Sprite, who has the power to shapeshift into anyone. However, if someone touches her while she's transforming, her body begins to glow, which makes it difficult for Sprite to form close relationships with others. The story then shifts back to Dane and Circe, who are having a heartfelt conversation. Dane seems to have some inkling about Circe's secret, that she has been alive for thousands of years and is part of a superhero team known as the Eternals. However, Dane laughs it off, thinking it's a joke. Later, after dinner, Dane, Circe, and Sprite are heading home when a creature suddenly emerges from the water. The creature lunges directly at Dane to attack him, forcing Circe and Sprite to flee with Dane to keep him safe. In an attempt to stop the creature, Circe uses her powers to sink its arms and legs into the ground, trapping it temporarily. But the creature was incredibly strong and broke free, continuing to pursue them. Dane was utterly confused, unable to comprehend what this creature was. Circe, too, was baffled, as these creatures, known as deviants, had been wiped out thousands of years ago. She couldn't understand how they had returned. Circe and Sprite did their best to fight the creature, but it was extremely powerful. Sprite used her ability to create multiple clones of herself to distract the creature. However, the creature quickly identified the real Sprite and moved to attack her. Just then, a powerful laser beam hit the creature. It was none other than Ikaris, who had arrived to help. Ikaris observed that even after injuring the creature, it was able to heal itself, a trait that only their team leader, Ajak, used to possess. The creature attempted to attack again, but Ikaris fought it off and threw it into the water. Though it wasn't killed, it retreated for the time being. Circe and Ikaris saw each other for the first time in thousands of years. It was revealed that they were once deeply in love and had even married in a grand ceremony. However, for reasons unknown, Ikaris left Circe a few years after their union, and they had lived apart ever since, until now. After this encounter, Circe said goodbye to her friend Dane, as she had to reunite with her team. Dane was confused and questioned why, as superheroes, the Eternals hadn't intervened during Earth's major crises, such as Thanos' attack. Circe explained that the Eternals were only sent to Earth to eliminate deviants and were forbidden from interfering in any other matters. With this, Circe, Ikaris, and Sprite set off to visit their leader, Ajak, at her home. The three of them made haste, knowing that the situation was becoming increasingly dire. At Ajak's house, the group discovered signs of a massive struggle. Upon entering, they found Ajak's lifeless body. It was evident that the dangerous creature they encountered earlier had attacked her and absorbed her healing ability into its body. This revelation shocked the entire team, as it was the first time an Eternal had been killed. As they stood by her body, a small golden orb emerged from Ajak's chest and transferred itself into Cersei. This event signified that Ajak had chosen Cersei as the new leader of the Eternals. With this role, Cersei gained the ability to communicate with Erishem, the Celestial who created the Eternals and humanity. The situation had become dire, and Cersei, now the leader, decided to reunite the team to eliminate the creatures and protect humanity. Their first stop was Kingo, another Eternal. Kingo possessed the ability to gather massive amounts of energy in his hands and release it as powerful laser beams. Over the years, Kingo had become a famous movie star, signing numerous films and amassing great wealth. When the group informed Kingo about Ajak's death, he was deeply saddened and agreed to rejoin the team. The Eternals then boarded Kingo's private jet and set off for Australia, where other team members resided. During their journey, they passed through a desert area where they saw the dead body of one of the creatures they had previously fought. Kingo's manager, who was documenting everything on camera, diligently captured the scene. The group then reunited with another Eternal, Gilgamesh, who had the ability to harden his body to an extraordinary degree, making him incredibly strong and resilient. At the time, Gilgamesh was preparing pizza, which he offered to everyone. However, upon hearing about Ajak's death, he, too, was filled with grief and immediately agreed to rejoin the fight. Living with Gilgamesh was another Eternal, Thena, who had incredible combat skills and could manifest weapons out of thin air. Though Thena was powerful, but one condition which caused her to lose control and attack allies due to the overwhelming weight of her memories. Despite this, she remained a vital part of the team. With their group slowly coming back together, they prepared to face the threat that loomed over humanity. Thena was sitting a little distance away, drawing something. However, she had a troubling condition. She would sometimes lose control and attack anyone in her vicinity, mistaking them for enemies. Using her powers, Thena was capable of creating any type of weapon, and this time was no exception. When the other Eternals approached her, she suddenly believed they were her foes and launched an attack on them. Thankfully, Gilgamesh, who had been with Thena for centuries, managed to calm her down. With Thena subdued, the reunited team sat down to share a meal. Meanwhile, Cersei stepped outside to examine the drawings Thena had made. The sketches depicted their leader and colossal, ancient beings, hinting at something much larger than they had previously understood. Troubled by what she saw, Cersei decided to use her newfound leadership powers to connect with their celestial creator, Erishem. In her subconscious, Cersei confronted Erishem and asked him why the deviants had returned to Earth. Erishem revealed the shocking truth: when he created the universe and humanity, the deviants were an unintended consequence of his experiments. To eliminate them, he had sent the Eternals. However, that was not the Eternals' sole purpose. Erishem explained that he had planted seeds of celestial beings in the cores of various planets. Over millennia, these seeds would grow, and once they reached maturity, the process called the Emergence would occur. During the Emergence, the planet would be destroyed, and the Celestial would be born. The Eternals were sent to ensure that the population of planets grew sufficiently to feed the developing Celestial within, as the life energy of intelligent beings was necessary for its growth. This had been the Eternals' true mission all along. In fact, the Eternals had performed this task on other planets for thousands of years, but their memories were erased by Erishem after each mission to prevent them from retaining emotional connections. Thena's episodes were revealed to be flashes of memories from her past missions, where she had witnessed similar destructions of planets. Cersei, horrified by this revelation, rushed back to her team and shared everything Erishem had told her. The Eternals were left in shock, grappling with the weight of their true purpose and the realization that Earth, too, was destined for destruction. Cersei told everyone that they needed to protect humanity and stop the Emergence, or Earth would be destroyed. Ikaris agreed that they first needed to gather the remaining team members and then decide on a plan of action. The group quickly traveled to the Amazon rainforest, where Druig, the Eternal with mind-controlling abilities, was living. When they explained the situation to Druig, he initially refused to help. Suddenly, the forest was attacked by advanced deviants that were much stronger than the previous ones. The Eternals used their powers to fight back, but these deviants proved to be formidable. Ikaris attacked them, but the deviants used their tentacles to begin extracting his powers. At that critical moment, Gilgamesh stepped in to protect Ikaris. Kingo also fought fiercely, using his energy bombs to kill the deviants. However, one of the creatures managed to extract all of Gilgamesh's powers. As it absorbed his strength, the deviant began to evolve, taking on a more human-like appearance and becoming even more dangerous. Despite their efforts, Gilgamesh tragically died during the battle. Devastated by Gilgamesh's death, Druig finally decided to join the team. Determined to stop the emergence, the Eternals set off to find another member, Phastos, who was a brilliant architect and technologist. After some convincing, Phastos agreed to join them in their mission. The group then traveled to Iraq, where their ancient spaceship, the Domo, had been buried for centuries. Phastos, using his engineering skills, unearthed and reactivated the ship. Once inside, they reunited with another team member, Ikaris, who had been living on the Domo. Ikaris, who couldn't speak, possessed incredible speed, moving so fast that she was nearly invisible when running. Phastos began building a special device capable of stopping the emergence. However, the device required all the Eternals to combine their powers in unison. The team realized that this would be their best chance to save Earth, but it would require immense coordination and sacrifice. With the device in progress and the team nearly complete, they prepared for the final battle to protect humanity and their planet. Phastos continued working on the machinery that would harness the combined powers of the Eternals to stop the emergence. Although humans had achieved significant technological advancements, much of it had been influenced by Phastos' engineering and architectural brilliance over centuries. Suddenly, Circe began to sense that the emergence was imminent. Phastos quickly sent Ikaris to search for the exact location of the emergence. Using her incredible speed, Ikaris raced across the globe and soon discovered the site, a massive volcano where the emergence was about to occur. With the location identified, the team began preparing. However, they were blindsided when Ikaris, the strongest Eternal, destroyed the machinery Phastos had created. Ikaris attacked his teammates, determined to stop them from interfering with the emergence. When confronted by the others, Ikaris revealed his shocking reason: it was his duty to ensure the emergence occurred. Erishem, their creator, had sent him to Earth to protect the process, even if it meant killing his fellow Eternals. The truth about Ajak's death was also revealed. Ajak had discovered the emergence was nearing and decided to share the truth with the team to stop it. When she confided in Ikaris, he betrayed her, refusing to go against Erishem's will. To ensure she wouldn't interfere, Ikaris pushed Ajak into a pack of deviants, who killed her and absorbed her powers. Ikaris then left her body at her home, making it appear as though the deviants had attacked her. Sprite, who secretly admired Ikaris, sided with him and left with him to support the emergence. This betrayal deeply hurt the remaining Eternals, who now had to face not only the deviants but also one of their own. Kingo, shaken by the conflict and knowing that defeating Ikaris without him would be nearly impossible, decided to withdraw. He left with his manager, unwilling to fight Ikaris but also unwilling to oppose the emergence actively. This left only Circe, Phastos, Druig, Ikaris, and Thena, those determined to fight against the emergence and save humanity. Though outnumbered and without their strongest teammate, they resolved to use everything in their power to stop the destruction of Earth. The Eternals knew they lacked enough energy to stop the emergence. However, Phastos came up with a plan. He told Circe that since she had inherited some of Ajak's powers, they could use that to their advantage. Using the golden orb within Circe, Phastos created several magical rings. These rings would connect the Eternals and allow them to combine their powers, potentially stopping the emergence. Phastos worked quickly to forge the powerful rings and distributed them among the team members. They then boarded their spaceship and headed to the site of the emergence, where the celestial body was about to break free from the Earth's core. At the volcano, Ikaris and Sprite were already present, watching the emergence unfold. Sprite, who had long harbored feelings for Ikaris, stayed by his side despite his destructive intentions. Her unrequited love stemmed from her eternal childlike appearance, which prevented anyone from taking her seriously. Soon, the Eternal spaceship arrived at the scene, and the team began their attempt to stop the emergence. Ikaris, however, launched an attack to prevent them from interfering. He targeted Druig first, knocking him down with his laser beams. Ikaris, Druig's close friend, could not bear to see him hurt. She unleashed her full speed against Ikaris, landing blow after blow. Ikaris struggled to keep up with her sheer agility and power, enduring a beating like never before. Meanwhile, the deviant that had absorbed multiple Eternals' abilities also appeared at the site. It had grown significantly stronger, posing an even greater threat. The team fought valiantly, with Ikaris focusing her attacks on the deviant, creating a cloud of dust around it. However, just as the creature extended its tentacles to absorb Ikaris' powers, Phastos used his engineering abilities to trap it inside a cave, temporarily neutralizing the threat. Circe then turned to Phastos and said, "I'll try to stop the emergence on my own. Despite the risks, she was determined to use her unique ability to transform matter and save the planet. While the others held off Ikaris and any remaining threats, Circe made her way to the core, ready to attempt the impossible. While Circe was trying her best to stop the emergence, Phastos used his powers to restrain Ikaris, preventing him from intervening. However, Sprite, driven by jealousy and anger, attacked Circe from behind. Sprite vented her frustration, saying, "I've never truly understood love, and when I finally loved someone, when I loved Ikaris, you took him away from me." She nearly killed Circe, but Druig arrived just in time and knocked Sprite unconscious, saving her. Meanwhile, Thena was battling the deviant inside the cave. The creature, having absorbed Gilgamesh's abilities, tried to manipulate Thena by showing her visions of Gilgamesh calling out to her. It aimed to use her vulnerability to absorb her powers as well. However, Thena managed to regain control of her mind, overpowering her visions. Using all her strength, she unleashed her full abilities and killed the deviant once and for all. Back outside, the emergence had begun. The massive celestial body was breaking out of Earth's core. If fully formed, it would destroy the planet. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Circe summoned all her strength and focused her power on transforming the celestial's body into stone. At that moment, Ikaris broke free from Phastos' restraints and flew toward Circe to stop her. But just as he was about to attack, memories of the love and moments he shared with Circe flooded his mind. Overwhelmed, Ikaris found himself unable to harm her. Instead, he chose to join her. With Circe's words of hope and determination, Ikaris decided to help her stop the emergence. Together, Circe, Ikaris, and the other Eternals combined their powers through Phastos' ring mechanism. Slowly but surely, they began to halt the emergence. The Celestial's body, which had partially emerged with its hand visible, was gradually turned to stone. Finally, the emergence was stopped, and Earth was saved. Humanity's future was secure, and everything began to return to normal. However, Ikaris was racked with guilt over his betrayal and the harm he caused. Unable to forgive himself, he chose to leave. In an act of penance, Ikaris flew directly toward the sun, knowing he would not return. Circe understood his pain and accepted that Ikaris was gone for good. With the emergence stopped, the Eternals had saved the Earth, but their journey had left them with heavy hearts and deep questions about their purpose and existence. Makari was overjoyed to see Druig, but Sprite remained sad. Circe approached her and offered a solution, saying, "If you want, I can take away your powers. But if I do that, you will become a normal human, and you will age and eventually die." Sprite was initially hesitant, but the idea of leading a normal life resonated with her, so she accepted Circe's offer. After completing their mission, the Eternals gathered at Phastos' home to relax and enjoy some time together. Sprite, now a normal human, began living her life as any other person would. Circe, too, reconnected with her old friend, Dane, and they shared a joyful reunion. However, their peace was short-lived. In the sky, the figure of Erishem, their creator, appeared. Having seen the Eternals disrupt his plan, he called for Circe, reminding her that the fight was not over. Erishem hinted that he might generate more celestial bodies in the future, which would lead to further destruction and challenges for Earth. As the story comes to a close, the future of the Eternals remains uncertain. Will Erishem continue to push his plan, or will the Eternals be able to stop him again? The fate of humanity hangs in the balance.